Heyo, folks! Yeah, today is a very, very cheerful subject. Oh, this is going to be dark. It is self-endings in Fulton County Jails. There's a lot of them, folks. Half of all deaths in Fulton County Jails are self-endings, according to staff and government workers. How many of those with really weird circumstances can the state bring forward before it gets ridiculous? I would say zero. If it actually is a self-ending, that will be apparent in the autopsy and everything else. But there's something strange going on in Fulton County Jails. He was found unresponsive in the cell. Self-ending. And the more I look into that, the more unnerving. Is that the right word? Unnerving? Now, I don't think I'm conspiratorial here because, is it speculation? Of course it is. Of course it is, folks. Am I completely out of line? No, I don't think so. So I'm going to talk about, sorry. Let's see here. First, Michael Holland was found unresponsive in his cell. He was arrested in May of 2023 for charged with aggravated assault against a law enforcement officer, 3 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officer by use of threats of violence, according to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, held on a $55,000 bond at the Rice Street facility. That's about it, what I know about the case. But he was in Rice Street until his untimely death January 9th of this year. So he was in jail for almost 8 months for an aggravated assault case of 22. There's no CVID to blame. The reports should be everything needed. He was appointed a public defender. This should have been at trial after a month. And still 8 months later, he's still in jail. And all of a sudden he's found unresponsive. Let's get the article up here. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Add to scene. Oh, wrong one. There. A Fulton County Jail inmate who was found unresponsive in their cell died at Grady Memorial Hospital on Wednesday, according to Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Michael Anthony Holland, age 36, was found unresponsive in his cell when security was making rounds early Wednesday morning, the sheriff's office said. He was taken to Grady after jail staff tried life-saving measures. Folks, remember the Shane Kendall case? the uh, life-saving measures in Rye Street and Fulton County Jail, it's the same company. They hire people who can't do shit because it's cheap. Cheap staff. Better profit for the company that provides the medical care in Rye Street and Fulton County Jail. And then Holland, he was charged. He was held on a $55,000 bond. The sheriff's office said the Atlanta Police Department will investigate Holland's death, and the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office will do an autopsy. In 2023, 10 people died while in custody at the Fulton County Jail. 10 people in 2023. I believe the largest is 13 or 17 in 2020 or 2021. So at least 10 each year in Fulton County jails for different reasons, but half of them reportedly by self-ending. And here's my deal with this, folks. The moment a judge places you in jail, the government, or in this case Fulton County, have sole responsibility for the care, health, survivability of the inmate. So, if they fail, accountability should be automatic, folks. Automatic. And as Gigi says, in my experience, medical staff hired by jails and prisons often cannot get hired anywhere else. Almost all of them work harder trying to get out of working. Yeah. Go back and watch my Shane Kendall coverage. They had a nurse who refused to, in that case, make life-saving measures because she had a bad knee and didn't want to go down on the floor and actually perform CPR. And then a few minutes later, her co-worker casually strolled down to the cell, and he couldn't even work the machine. You know, that automatic SAPI machine. That's the level of competence of medical care in Fulton County jails, because it's cheap. Again, if you're in jail, you're under the sole custody of the government. In this event, Fulton County Jail and Fulton County in itself. It should be some form of accountability. Sadly, everybody needs to bring a civil suit, which is now ongoing with after the Department of Justice. Their scathing report that showed up after the election. Yeah, after the election. Isn't it coincidental? That this has been going on for decades in Fulton County. Why? And I've said this before, I will say it again, because the politicians want it this way. They want to make it easier for the prosecutor to get plea deals. Just keep it in Fulton County jails until they sign a plea deal. It's cheaper that way. They don't care if people die. None of them. And remember, people in jail are presumed innocent. And if you don't care about the deaths in your care, about people presumed innocent. In every other circumstance, manslaughter at least, or reckless disregard or whatever it is. But since it's in jails, nobody, they don't care. They don't see inmates as humans. For them, it's more or less a zoo. And let's go back to Mr. Holland here. And look what reports at the time said. Here is from 11 Alive.
Thank you so much. And tonight we are also learning more about a 36-year-old man who died in the Fulton County Jail back in January. According to the sheriff's office, Michael Holland was found unresponsive in a jail cell. Well, tonight, a new autopsy report classifies his cause of death as undetermined, but it also reveals he was in the cell with 3 other inmates and was dragged and carried between and inside the cells 3 times before staff ever even noticed. More than 24 inmates have died either in custody or from a medical emergency at the jail since January 2022. The Department of Justice opened a civil investigation into the jail in July of last
year. Yeah, folks. The self-ending turned undetermined. Because the staff didn't care. I don't know, were they sleeping? Were they jacking off each other? Was it a big circle jerk in the prison guards' break room? I don't know. I don't care. But for hours, this man was dragged around, carried around, before they cared. They say, oh, we didn't notice. Maybe they didn't. Or they like to watch people die. Am I speculating? Yeah, of course I am. Because I can. It is an opinion. Sometimes I can go as far as say the easiest way for a serial killer today to keep killing, law enforcement, prison system. Because if the same people or person time and time again are the person responsible for putting them in that jail, the guards in there, same guards year after year, people dying under their watch, are they doing the active killing? No. They don't have to. They can simply sit back, watch the monitor, fondling themselves while people die. Is that what happens in Fulton County Jail? Probably not. But Fulton County Jail per capita has more casualties in jail than almost any other jail in the United States. At what point does this stop being a coincidence, folks? At what point? At what point? I would say years ago. But still, to this day, people die in Fulton County jails, either by other inmates or by self-ending. Or, as in Mr. Holland, they determined it being self-ending. But after the autopsy, with the injuries, they couldn't go with that story anymore. So the prison guards had to admit, well, we didn't notice all the dragging and everything that was caught on cameras. When does it stop being a coincidence, folks? And Holland is not the only one. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oop. Another inmate dies at Fulton County Jail, third death this year. Less than a week after a deadly stabbing incident, another inmate at the Fulton County Jail has died, according to the sheriff's office. This is April. We are not even halfway through this year. We're not even halfway through this year, which I have checked so far. Not even halfway through this year. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office said the inmate, later identified as Travis Laundrie, was found unresponsive in his cell at Rice Street facility. There's that buzzword again. Found unresponsive. Life-saving measures were performed by jail and medical staff, but were unsuccessful, and the inmate was pronounced deceased, the sheriff's office said in a statement. Yeah, there's a lot of failed life-saving measures in Fulton County jails, aren't there? Shane Kendall, Mr. Holland, and Mr. Laundrie. Folks, these are just examples that the news even bothered to write about, because it's not news anymore. They bring it up once in a while on a slow news day. Hey, another one died in Fulton County Jails. Another one. Let's fill out the paper with something. Oh, let's check who died this week in Fulton County Jails. Preliminary cause of death was self-ending, according to the sheriff's office. Laundrie faced several charges, including 2 counts of ending. He had been in Fulton County Jail since November. So another one for, what is this? 6 months or more. Third inmate death this year, and second within a week. Last Thursday, 37-year-old Leonard Forte was stabbed to death. In January, 36-year-old Michael Holland was found unresponsive in his cell. In 2023, there was a total of 10 inmate deaths. But, might say, Nick, 10 out of 2,000, that's not a high number. Yes, it is. It's an extremely high number. Per capita. That is, I believe it is, if you go by the usual, per 100,000. Now, USA, you have a high number. You do. But 10 in a year in a facility of 2,000 inmates is equivalent to 500 per 100,000 in citizens. In a city the size of Atlanta, let's see here. Metro Atlanta is home to more than 6.3 million people. So if we have 500 per 100,000 and times that with 63, or 70. I don't care. So yeah, per capita, Rice Street, Fulton County Jails is extremely dangerous for the life and death of the inmates. Vague and ambitious says over here that they aren't even supposed to have 2,000 in that jail, are they? No, it was built for 1,125. Now, due to certain areas of Fulton County Jail is closed off. At their peak, Fulton County Jail had over 3,000 inmates. And it's been going on for a long time. And why is that? I hate to repeat myself. It's because the politician wants it that way. It looks good in the numbers of, look at how many people they convict here in Fulton County. Look at how many solved crimes we have. And yet, despite one of the worst jails in United States history, modern history, the claim from the DA's office and from politicians is that, crime is down. Yeah, but as Doug Weinstein cleverly mentioned the other day in one of his appearances on a news show, so is the rest of the United States. Crime overall is a bit down. So in that regard, Atlanta, Fulton County, they are in the crime aspect of things not better or worse than most of the United States. They're on average. So whatever measures they have here have no impact on crime. Zero impact. And if you go back a few streams ago, I went through the statistics. Remember, crime was at a peak in 2017. It has been gone, or whatever year that was. And then I checked the number of homicide murders. No change. Still 700, between 705 and 740. That has been quite consistent over the last 6 years. Other crimes gone better, but actual murders, basically no change. And that is why when the Fania Willis goes out, but whoever goes out, crime is down. Yeah, but statistically, if you could, because that is why this is where cherry picking comes in when it comes to statistics. If you have that number and you look for a number, that's higher, then you present that as, look, crime is getting down. They never tell you which one. They're always very, very general. Only when you go into the actual numbers, you see that these people are full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. And it's annoying. Yeah. It is really, really annoying. And for Mr. Holland, and for all the people, presumed innocent. I have to remind you, presumed innocent. Rice Street and the Fulton County Jail system. That is why you saw the plea deals in the YSL trial. Because when The risk of injury or death is that high, you really don't want to be there. For instance, would you bungee jump if you heard that out of 100,000 bungee jumps, 500 people die? Would you bungee jump? Would you go on an airplane? If 500 out of 100,000 flights, everybody dies? No, of course not. But when it comes to jails, so many people accept it. So many people just accept it. And it's unnerving. And the last case I'm going to tell you about is me showing you this is not just Fulton County. This is not just Fulton County. Let's see here. Oh, I have to go to that window. And add to scene. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. What happened to my son? Parents of Henry County inmate found dead in cell wants answers. A 30-year-old Henry County inmate is dead, and now his parents wants to know why. According to Henry County Sheriff deputies, they found Sterling Williams unresponsive in his cell. That's the buzzword again. Inside his cell Thursday night. This is April 12th, just 2 days after the last self-ending in Fulton County. Henry County, same thing. Smaller jail, much smaller jail. Did his mother just want to know what happened. Did somebody do this to him? Did you all do this to him? What happened to my son? Williams' father, Sterling Williams, asked. Yeah, the inmate, Sterling Williams, is Sterling Williams Jr. Henry County Sheriff's Deputy says Williams was in jail since April 5th on a disorderly conduct charge. Disorderly conduct? He was in a brawl outside of a bar. And they put him in jail for 5 days before he was found unresponsive. 5 days in jail for a bit of a brawl outside of a bar? The full news story on in full the WSB TV news article. She had to hear that he self-ended by necktie on the news because the jail wouldn't tell them. Both parents told Channel 2 Action News they drove 8 hours from Illinois to Georgia to get some answers. They believe their son, who they say suffered from mental health issues, would never hurt himself. What happened to him because he would not have done that. He would never do anything like that to me or his sisters and brothers. He just wanted to get out. He needed his medicine. Denied medication in jail. The Henry County Coroner's Office pronounced Mr. Williams deceased. The incident is under investigation by Henry County Sheriff's Office Internal Affairs Unit. An official cause of death has not been released by the Henry County Coroner's Office. at the time of that article. Quote, "They will not even let us see our son. They will not let us see him or give us his property, and I do not think that is right when that is our baby." The family told Washington the medical examiner promised to let the parents see their son's body early next week. Our phone calls and emails to the Henry County Sheriff's Office about death notice protocols were not returned on that week. And sadly here, that's the end of the story. But the aunt of Sterling Williams Jr. contacted me saying, "Please look into this." And I have to say, there's not much to look into. The information is so scarce. I don't know what to say. I wish I could look into it more, but there's no information. It was simply, hey, he ended himself. Nothing. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Sterling Williams Jr.'s life means nothing to the politicians in Henry County, Georgia. It's just another one they don't think of as human. So scarce information and off you fuck. The family of Sterling Williams, I'm sorry, I can't look into it other than cover the case. And to anybody in Henry County, if you were an inmate at the time, if you're a corrections officer that wants to get something off your chest, please contact me. The family needs the information. They need the closure. It might be a self-ending, but when there's nothing to go by except the words of correctional officers, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And it's so annoying and unnerving, and sadly, this is so common in Georgia. Other places in the United States, but I mainly cover Georgia and Fulton County. I have not cut my hair. Jesus Christ. John C. It's still there, folks. It's still here. Well, also, and this is 3 examples out of dozens, perhaps hundreds, of jail inmate self-endings the last year, 2 years. It happens all the time. And politician doesn't care. The jails definitely doesn't care. The jail medical staff, they don't care. And so yeah, this is more to the families of these victims. Your loved one might have ended themselves. The problem is that we can't be sure because of cases like Mr. Holland and Mr. Laundrie and Mr. Williams. We can't be sure. Or with the Shane Kendall case, which I talked to you about before. I wish I had answers for you, but you should have gotten answers from the county, from your politicians, from the sheriff's office, from the jail. Clear answers. And you don't get them because your loved ones, the person you loved for, cared for, means nothing for the politicians in the counties in Georgia. Nothing. They don't care. They're just a number. One less they have to have a trial about. Now, there are a lot of prison workers, sheriffs, cops, politicians that do care. They are drowned out by people who don't. And they are drowned out because every time something real is about to happen, somebody comes along with, oh, we need to be tough on crimes. Tough on crimes does not mean don't care about the people. But sadly, for many, those two things means the same. In order to be tough on crimes, you have to stop looking at these as humans. I thought that's why the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the amendments, the founding fathers, they thought of this situation. When government officials stop caring, they need to be held accountable. But what do we have instead? Immunity for cops, immunity for prosecutors, silence in jails, no accountability, which is completely against the founding fathers' idea of the United States. These people are more communists, who also don't see people as humans. But communists don't see people as humans overall, but especially people they don't want to see alive. This is more 1980s, 1970s communist Russia, where your life doesn't matter. We are supposed to be better, folks. That's why people have died soldiers have died to protect, in the United States, your constitution, in Europe, our constitutions. People have died for these rights. And then all of a sudden, 40, 50, 60 years later, we have politicians that says, I don't care. I need to fatten my belly. Give me sponsorships. Give me bribes. Yeah, I'm a bit cynic. Because the more I look into these cases, I see the people who suffer. And I wish I could make it better. But I can't. I'm just one guy talking about it. But you guys, you are the masses. You can do something. Either vote, contact your politician. Say this isn't okay. The families need answers. And that's a huge responsibility on you guys. Huge responsibilities. But when these people don't care, we have to make them care. So yeah, I wish I had better news for you. But I mean, I can talk about the civil suit, against the jails, which Shannon and one other have started. through word of mouth, more people are attaching themselves to this lawsuit. And maybe that's an avenue. Make them pay. Maybe that should be automatic, folks. If a jail inmate under your care dies, $1 million to the families. Severely injured, 100,000. Instead of in some jails in the United States, you have to pay for your visit there, which is absolutely bonkers. It should be the other way around. After, as in Georgia, 90 days. That should be the limit. After 90 days, $1,000 a day. That you don't get either out on bond, get your trial, or sent off to prison. $1,000 a day. When you have 2,000 inmates in Fulton County Jail, that stacks up. But for that, we need politicians who are prepared to do that. No, they won't. It's a fun thought, but it won't happen. I wish I have better news for you, but I'm just here maybe to tell the families that somebody cares. I care. Hopefully my viewers care. Most of my viewers I know will care. Maybe sometimes it's enough for these families. Maybe they know they can't get closure. All they need to know is that somebody cares. And we care. This should never have happened. Even if your loved one was a dangerous criminal, still human. Even if they have mental issues, still human. And sometimes these families tries to shout it from the rooftops, my loved one was a human who didn't deserve this. And I want to shout back, we know your loved one was human. That person should not have died. They should have had their day in court, no matter the result. And now they were denied that because politicians in Fulton County and other places in Georgia don't care. It's just another number. Tomorrow is Christmas. Well, at least it is Christmas Eve here in Sweden. We celebrate on the 24th. So no stream or video on the 24th. You celebrate on the 25th. You are all already getting cared for. You have Danny on, and you have Broken Baker, who will have Christmas Day streams. I'm not sure, but I do know that me and Mo will meet up on the 26th, and we are going to talk about the Odinist investigation in the Delphi case. The Odinist investigation in the Delphi case was a 3-person investigation. 2 died, either by murder or other means. 2 out of 3. Coincidence? Well, we're going to talk about it on the 26th. Until then, show people you care. It's Christmas. And hug your family, folks. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. But this Christmas, send your thoughts to the families of the inmates in Fulton County and Georgia jails who will never again see their families. Thank you for showing up. Have a good one. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.